Shanti. Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a beautiful Amrit Vela. Just to quickly revise a couple of points from the initial part of the Murli. The original Murli was actually spoken on June 2nd, 1977. So where Baba was mainly empowering us with some swaman of being an ancestor soul and being a worship for the soul. And Baba was emphasizing the power that we are, but that we have, and what we are capable of, and the responsibility that comes with that. And so today, let me just quickly read the blessing where Baba was, the essence of the Murli. Baba was talking about to those who are images of support for all souls, to those who are free from bondage of Maya and matter, to those who constantly have all rights and are constantly stable in their position of ancestor, to those who consider themselves to be instruments to make others' souls elevated and powerful through their own thoughts and deeds, to the master creators, to the master almighty authorities, to the knowledgeful souls. Bhagdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. So these are the main points that Baba has covered, and couple of things Baba was talking about. Uh, um, Being an ancestor soul um, uh, and worship worthy soul, how they overlap each other. And on that note, Baba is talking with Dadis, and Baba dwells deeper into our ancestors who are already in our advanced party, that Dadi Nirmal Shanta. So Baba says to Dadi that, do you consider yourself to be an ancestor? For what purpose has Dadi gone to foreign land? Those of all religions will see her as their ancestor. So if you remember, Nirmal Shanta Dadi being to London, and if some of you might have seen the video clip where she was sharing her experience being in that London museum, where there was jewelry, where she recognized the jewelry, and then she said how the jewelry works. Like there is a musical instrument inside, so that Daddy was talking about. And she was, when you get a chance, you should definitely watch that clip. It's on YouTube somewhere, where Daddy was sharing her experience in London. So it is somehow connected to this trip, where and Baba was reinforcing why did Dadi went to London or the foreign land, so that all religions will see her as their ancestor. They will have the feeling and vibrations that these souls are related to them, that they belong to them. However, only when they come into contact with her will they be able to understand this. But they will definitely receive these vibrations. Wherever she goes, she will look at, people will look at her with elevated vision and feel that they can attain something from the vibrations and drishti of such elevated souls. The communication happens at a totally different level. The whole physical presence has a total difference, and that is why Baba is bringing attention to the physical presence of Dadi in the foreign land. And when she was there physically, they can feel her vibrations, they can feel that sense of belonging with her drishti and with her vibrations. They are looking towards you in this way even now, It is as though they are attracted by the moon hidden behind the cloud. They will experience this to be something elevated and her to be an elevated being. Because of not having knowledge, they will experience themselves amidst the clouds, seeing a few rays and feeling a little coolness coming through the clouds. They will be attracted to experience this more clearly, some in the corporeal form and other in the subtle form, and become instruments for the service of the revealing the ancestors. Do you constantly cooperate with one another? All of you consider yourself to be cooperative souls, Sahayogi. Do you not? Only one soul may become an instrument, but would the vision that people have be of one person or the whole Shakti army? Children are revealed through their father, and father is revealed through his children. So, to all the Sahayogi souls, cooperative souls, will be revealed through one instrument of soul. If all of you were to go there, whom would they come to see here? When people hear that there are also others here like her, they will be attracted to come here. Not all are revealed at once, at the same time. Would a businessman show all of his wares to his customers at once? He takes things out one by one, showing you their importance. According to the drama, the value of every jewel is revealed at its own time and on its own stage. This is why temples are built everywhere as memorial. Are there temples just in one place? Otherwise, everyone's temple would be built at the same place. There are temples everywhere because of the importance of the different types of services carried out at each place by every jewel. There are memorials everywhere, are there not? Even in the villages, there would be memorials. There wouldn't be any place where there isn't a memorial of you ancestors. Is there such a village? So here Baba was emphasizing that it's not just one Dadi. I can share from couple of the double foreigners who were residents of San Francisco, where Didi came and Nirmal Shanta came to San Francisco Center, where Daddy was not able to talk in English, but and they were not able to understand Hindi, but they used to feel the sense of closeness. There used to be one brother who was one of the original double foreigner, and he wrote a whole book on Didi. He was so attracted to Didi, he was so much following her all the way through. And he has written a whole book. The book is called God's Plan, and you'll see his personal experiences with Didi. It's a solid, big, bulky book. So when I was listening to this, I was thinking about that brother. So it's very much they were sharing that they literally used to feel the power of purity, and then their strength to live up to what Dadi is telling has reinforced when Dadi came here. So just a side note. So now Baba is meeting Didi ji. Is your Viman or Dadi's faster? Her Viman is a physical one, but what is yours? That is a Viman of science, and yours is of silence. Science is a creator, silence is the creator of science. Science has emerged through the power of silence. The creator is always more powerful. In which stage is your companion who is an instrument stable at the moment? The stage of being an image that grants vision and the bestower of blessing. She is an embodiment of Mahadani, great donor. By taking power from the Father with all the treasures, she easily gives others the experience of light and might through her own power, thoughts, and vibration. This is her blessing. Just as one jewel has become an instrument, others will also become jewels like her. You should now especially tie a bracelet, make a pledge for this type of service. Only then will you see a different phase in service in a practical way. Only when instrument souls who are behind a curtain show the courage to come onto the stage will there be a new way. At every moment, be stable in the position of an ancestor. Consider yourself to be the trunk and give the water of power to all the branches. Refresh the branches that have dried up. Acha? So, there are a couple of things Baba is bringing our attention to how to serve. There is a whole list with your light and might, with your own power, thoughts, and vibration, and being a bestower of blessing in a service in a practical way. And you have to reveal the Father. And this is the nice thing that stood out for me. Science is the silence is the creator of the science. So, so there is some nice churnings around that we can share later. Okay, so here Baba is meeting the whole group. Does each of you consider yourself to be a world benefactor? Do you create every thought and perform every deed with awareness that there is benefit for the world through this? Only when every thought is elevated will there then be benefit for the self and the world. You should constantly keep your duty in your awareness. I am in charge of benefit for the world. Someone is in charge would never forget his or her duty. What happens in this world when someone does not fulfill his or her duty well? They are asked to leave. No one here is made to leave, but they leave of their own accord. There, they may reduce someone's salary or give him a uh, warning of being dismissed. However, if you do not fulfill your duty properly, then according to the drama, you reduce your salary of attainment and your happiness and power decreases. You will naturally wonder why your happiness has decreased. What is the reason for this? In one way or another, you are not fulfilling your duty very well. You definitely miss something out. So, are you properly engaged in your duty? It is not possible for you to have any thoughts about anything other than world benefit. If you do have other thoughts, have your duty been fulfilled? Do you constantly remain on duty? Or while fulfilling your limited responsibility, do you forget your spiritual responsibility? Always have the faith that you are world benefactors. Let there be as much intoxication as there is faith. Nasha and Nischay. If you have less intoxication, you will do less service. Therefore, always be accurate in your duty. Others see those who are accurate in their duty as honest and faithful. The Father also considers those who are accurate in their service to be faithful to Baba. It is one thing to have full faith in the Father, but together with having faith in the Father, you also have to be faithful to service. This is also a subject. Just as you have the faith of knowledge, there is also the subject of service. Only those who are faithful can claim a number ahead of others. The number is based on total number of marks. However, while serving others, you also have to serve yourself. It should not be that while serving yourself, you forget others, or while serving others, you forget yourself. A balance of both is needed. Such souls are called world benefactors. You children have knowledge of the self, the soul, but it is only through the Father that you become instruments for world benefit. So, do you, mothers and Shiv Shakti army, remain on service in your form of Shakti? If there is weakness in the self, there would be weakness in service. Therefore, serve with your form of the Shakti, and there will be success. Do not consider yourself to be an ordinary mother, but world mothers. A world mother is a world benefactor. Are Pandavas engaged in service, considering themselves to be Mahavirs? A Mahavir makes something difficult easy. You have even the memorial. You have seen the memorial. It was not difficult to fetch the life-giving herb, Sanjeevani, yet he brought the whole mountain. A Mahavir is one who makes a mountain into a mustard seed. Come on to the stage of service as such Mahavirs. You will receive a response. You receive a response according to your stage. When an actor performs on a good stage, his act is given greater value. So check how your stage is while performing every act. Do you have a powerful stage, or do you simply continue to act? Perform every act while stable in your stage, and then see how much success you attain. So, Baba is talking about Mahavirs, Baba is talking about the mothers, Shiv Shaktis, world mothers, and Baba is also cautioning us while doing service, we should do self service and also world service. Be a world benefactor. Now, Baba is talking to Madhuban Vasis. Baba is talking to Madhuban Vasis. Are all of you free from obstacles? Are you constantly yogis, akhand yogis? The link of your yoga never breaks, does it? Akhand yogi, constant yogis are those who fulfill the responsibility of love to the one they love. Nowadays, Mahatmas even have names such as Akhand Anand, one constantly in a state of bliss. But in reality, you are those who are embodiments of being constant in every aspect. Your bliss is constant and undisturbed, and your happiness is constant and undisturbed. Are you constant, akhand in every aspect? It is easy for you, Madhuban Vasis, because you have the cooperation of the atmosphere, vibrations, and also the land. It is easy for you, Madhuban Vasis. Easy for what? To have that akhand stage, akhand happiness, and akhand undisturbed and constant happiness and bliss. Because They have cooperation of the atmosphere, the vibration, and that tapasya dham, tapasya, the land of tapasya. Just make sure you don't become influenced by bad company. Secondly, have an attitude of don't care. When you see or hear of other people's weakness, don't care. With this speciality, you can become constant yogis. When you are influenced by someone's company or you see someone's weakness, your yoga is disturbed. Those who are not constant yogis cannot become worthy of worship. If your yoga breaks, then you would be worthy of worship. You would, if your yoga breaks, then you would be worthy of worship only for a short time. However, you have to be worthy of worship for all times. For half a cycle, you yourself would be living forms of those who are worthy of worship. And for half the cycle, your non living images would be worshipped. Is it like this? अच्छा मीठे मीठे सीखी लगे बच्चों प्रति माता पिता बाप दादा का याद प्यार और गुड मॉर्निंग रूहानी बाप की रूहानी बच्चों को नमस्ते हम रूहानी बच्चों की रूहानी बाप को याद प्यार गुड मॉर्निंग और नमस्ते beautiful Murli. So, do all of you consider yourself to be Akhand yogis, Madhuban Vasis, free from any weakness, constantly worship worthy, and it is a nice point where Baba is asking to hold this attitude of I don't care about others' weaknesses. Okay? That is a nice point. And here Baba is telling, be a Mahavir who makes mountain into mustard seeds and who have a stage, a powerful stage. Right? And Baba is asking mothers to be a Shiv Shaktis and world mothers and to keep a balance of self-service and world service. Nishchay and Nasha should be same. And Baba is also reinforcing on being a world benefactor. A couple of things. Baba is talking to Didi Ji. Please be a Mahadani with her light mind, with her own power, thoughts, and vibrations. She is being an instrument to reveal power. Okay. It's talking to Nirmal Shankar Dadi. With her presence, they feel a sense of belonging. With her drishti and vibrations, they feel that sense of closeness. And become and reveal Baba. Let's take a couple of minutes to reflect on what Baba said. Go back to your Swaman, Swastiti, in that pure, powerful stage. being an Akhand yogi, a blissful yogi, Mahavir, naturally a lighthouse and a might house, a very powerful soul, creating that powerful atmosphere, spreading the powerful vibrations, very comfortable in your ancestor stage, in the world mother and world benefactor, giving everyone the sense of belonging. Very comfortable in your worship body stage. Very close to Baba and close to every soul. Revealing Baba through your stage, with your stillness, you're revealing your power. Purvaj and Pujaniya stage. Om Shanti. So what are the new ideas, new means, new experiences Baba gave in today's Murli? How did Baba enrich his personal sharing with deities? Enrich the main Murli with icing on the cake, the interactions with deities and Madhubanvasis. Feel free to unmute yourself and share. Digit light.
Yeah, Om Shanti, brother. So, so the one that which uh, touched me is this. Baba says, it is my duty to benefit for the world. I'm in charge, actually, of benefit for the world. So, Baba says, this is my duty, which I should, I should not forget. This awareness, I should always have. And Baba also mentioned that, worldly things, if somebody is not performing their duty, then they will be issued a warning, or uh, salary will be reduced or dismissed. But here Baba says, the attainments will be reduced. or attainments, the power, happiness, or utilities. So I should be always aware about my duty, what my duties and my world benefactors. This is the point. Thank you.
Om Shanti, brother. Om Shanti. I think when it's just when you were linking yesterday that am I as a Purva Jatma able to go to a person of other religion, another country? So when we were just sharing and churning on that yesterday, I understood because all these paragraphs today is a witness, is a thing to see, an example for us to learn as to how the service just went across. I think first of all, I should congratulate you because this is a 1977 Murli. And I don't know, I remember reading these milestones of Brahma Kumaris. And I used to often think, why Brahma Baba never went abroad? Why he didn't go abroad? Why he was only over here? I used to think, but in how from the 70s, the year when they just went, and 77, if I remember, I don't know, I may be wrong. It was the first time I read about the Jewel of Light, I think, Dadi Prakashmani, when something was mentioned of her. When she visits the first time the US, and if I vaguely remember, that was the time when centers were in America in 77. So I liked all these milestones. In the 70s and all, it was just visiting all these places. In 80s, it was all getting recognition from all those services, what you have done. And 90s was the real service, the real manifesto and all that. So my thing is over here, when this service started, how did Baba really, Avyak Baba, because there was no corporeal Baba there, through Avyak Baba, what a yeoman service he really gave to all these dadis who went from this land to other land. So that Purvaj Atma was grounded in them. That Purvaj Atma, and when they went there, how did people get really attracted? What was the attraction of them to this other souls? That even I liked. And where it is in one of the line Baba mentions over here, that one by one he releases. See, even in this, slowly only the service started. Like a businessman will not put all his wares at once. So slowly, how one Dadi was really sent out and how it's spread there. What is this global thing? Will they really change? Will these souls to whom we are going far off, will there be a transformation? I think at that moment, none of them thought. They just said it's a service given and they went. So that's why each of these paragraphs, when you read that, I had a little confusion. When you read about Didi, when Baba said, is asking Didi, is your Viman faster or Dadi's? Her Viman is a physical one, but what is yours? So I was just thinking, why is Baba mentioning Dadi Prakash Mani's Viman as a physical one, and that hers is one of a science and a silence. So even that thing I was trying to, because this is something new in the Murli, where Baba is trying to not compare, try to evaluate the services of two Dadis. So it's more, I could say, for us to know what is a Purva Jatma and how did these foundation souls go across continents, on what basis, what passport, what visas, what training. I still remember when Jagdish Bai went to UK, that one thing which I remember, when the tree, when they wanted to explain about the tree, I remember that historian, he was Toynbee. how the whole tree concept he accepted and how it was explained to him. I think it's beautiful, these souls. We should be proud that we have such an encyclopedia of these people with us. So this paragraph, what you read today, is just a brief, I think, for us to understand the wonderful work of these lovely dadis. That's what fills my heart today. Shanti.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And especially if you remember, before coming to the Western world, Dadi Ji and Ratanmohini Dadi first went to Japan. I think that is during Sakara times. And Baba already had a vision. There will be a day when there will be centers all over the world. There will be a day where all the people from all races, all gender, all cultures come to Madhuban. And Baba used to say this in Sakarmuli. So Baba already had this vision. But definitely Baba never went out of India because that is the land where Baba God himself comes. So that is one thing of sure. And if you look at one part where Baba is telling your temples are there everywhere, not just in India. If you go outside of India, you'll see temples in Afghanistan. You'll see temples definitely in Pakistan offshore. If you go a little further into Iran, you'll still see Indian Hindu temples all the way to Iran. So uh, like even if you look at the current parliament when they have the map of India Akhand Bharat. So it stretches all the way till Afghanistan and further. Right, so all of these places you can even Google so temples in Afghanistan and then you'll see a very beautiful temples there. So anyhow, yeah.
But Baba, brother, I just wanted to know, is what was the strategy of Bap Dada in this, in establishing centers abroad? Because I see whenever he comes down, whenever the Padramani is there, the first question when he asks in the groups is, okay, have you established a center over there? How many centers have been opened? How many there? In India, he comes to the word Gita Pachalas. And now you see in India, it is more easy go to the villages, go more to the villages. That's why you'll see most of the people are now going to, in between. I don't know when was that period, villages. But what is the strategy of, is it the glow of Bab Dada in trying to cover the whole world? Sometimes I just wanted to be a detached observer and understand the strategy. Do you have any churning on this, brother?
So one thing of sure from my interaction with a lot of double fauners here, um, most of the Baba's children are awakened not by the service that we are doing here, but more from Avyakt Bapdada. So good number of them had this strange experiences. They had somebody calling them, pulling them. Good number of them had this white sari people coming and giving gyan, and then good number of them had a good experience before getting in touch with any BK, right? So big portion of service was actually done by Brahma Baba, Avyakt Baba, right? And the second thing is Baba, especially when Milan happens, when Baba says like, okay, did you do what I asked you to do? Because Baba has already found his children in some corners. So now Baba is asking, did you really reach that place in physically so that they can interact with you? You know, so I have heard so many double fauner stories. There is one Mataji who used to be here in San Francisco. She left the body. She had a flower shop and she had Brahma Baba like in the broad daylight, you know. She was in her shop and then she was looking, there is a white cladded man standing out there constantly staring at her. She said like, what is this man trying to do, right? And then she was constantly, it was very vivid, right? And BK was a friend of her and then she brought her to Baba's room. When she brought her to Baba's room, she recognized he's the same man who was standing outside my shop. It was so black and white for them, right? So, and these people who were born through Avyakt stage, they generally don't get shaken up by BK drama. Like BK is within, there is some questions, sanskar collisions, all this comes up, but they don't get shaken because the foundation itself is not this physical interaction. The very foundation of their Brahmin life started with Avyag Babdada. They say like, oh, my relationship with Babdada, and I'm sticking to that. And then Baba Murli is what Baba is taking, and that basic foundation is strong. And then the organization, structure, systems, and all these things came into picture. You follow, right? So coming back to the point where you're saying like, what is Baba's strategy? I feel like Avik Babdada, when he was serving from there, he has already touched a lot of souls all over. And Baba was asking, did you reach this corner and that corner and that corner? When they're asking double formats. And that's how I feel, because I remember once Dadi Janki, she was doing service here. She came here to San Francisco. She went all the way to some remote corner where nobody goes. She says like, I need to go there, I need to go there. And then she went there. She found some long lost Baba's child, and then she interacted with that soul, and then she came back. There is like strange connection Dadis and Bamba Baba has. And she says like, she's says like, I need to go, I need to go now. Right. Another thing I want to tell Girjaben is Dadi Janki is very Bharatvasi. When she was asked to go to London, she said like, what am I doing there? She's so Bharatvasi, like she's so pride. Because in India we used to think that, oh, she in her previous birth she could be Rudrama Devi, Dadi or Jhansi Kirani or something like that, because she is like Shakti. She took so much pride in India. She was ended up being the instrument of London, right? The colonial headquarters of the whole world, right? And now she has to serve those souls. And that is where she stepped up into her role of an ancestor soul. And then she started serving each and every soul. And from there, she started extending her service, and then reached to the whole rest of the world. But definitely there is a breakthrough, for every one of us as Indian. We need to have that breakthrough where we cut through that barrier, and then when we become really soul conscious, then we start connecting. And it is not just between Bharat and rest of the world, and it is between uh, when Arabs come and Israelis, BKs and Arab BKs both come and sit, they don't have any animosity. You see, right? So when Russian BKs and then American BKs, they both sit together, they say like, wow, you're all one BKs, one family. We don't get into this drama of the world politics.
A final point, brother, when you said Arab, just to say, when I was in service in the UAE, I remember when in my one of the first meetings, Bab Dada asked our group, will you bring Sheikh over here? That year I remember everyone in UAE, we were bound to do it. And in one of my service, when Dadi Janki had visited Dubai, one of a person whom I knew very closely, a Sheikh, he came to our center. I was so happy thinking that he has realized Baba. No, you know what he did? They are so astute in their faith. He took Dadi Janki's hand and he said, she is number one. He only accepted Dadi Janki, but not Shiv Baba. I found that was the block which was always there serving the Arabs. Their astute thing in their one entity was he took Dadi Janki's hand and said, you are my number one. And he gave her a big hug. I was just thinking, how do service, you were speaking of Arabs, and I was thinking, how does that other religion, as I mentioned yesterday, cross boundaries? Thank you, brother.
And then they had a huge retreat, right? Like in Madhuban, the whole all Arabs came there, and sheikhs, all the big guns came to Madhuban.
Yeah, but there is no change in that belief system of Baba says, no, he is the one, Shiv Baba is the one. That kind of call, which for me, it was a dream. I wanted to say, I wanted to put Shiv Baba's flag. We have a Dubai World Trade Center. I used to often say, I want to put a flag there, but I know that was just a vision.
See, I personally feel it is easy for Muslims to connect to Shiv Baba because they are very staunch on God is incorporeal, and they very much resonate with the light of God, Nur of Allah, right? So I personally feel more than Hindus. I may stir up some people here, but I personally feel Muslims can resonate very well with Baba's Gyan than. And I have my own theory there, but let's not go there. Anyone have any thoughts, comments? Radhamani is telling science is the creator of this. Silence is the creator of the science. That's right. That's right. And that is another powerful thing. I think Gopiben was uh, triggered this thought that especially we as a eternal souls, the souls in which all the drama, all the role that we are going to play is um, ingrained within the soul, etched into the soul. So when we become really silent, when we go beyond the effect of the past, effect of the physical, we transcend the physical, we can see things which is not obvious. In other words, we can perceive the future also. In other words, if you look at most of the science inventions, they all came in their dreams. Lot of things, lot of ideas got cleared when they go into deep silence. So I feel when we go into silence, we get access to our future. We get clarity of the role that we are going to play going forward. And I think like especially when Baba says like as you become perfect, you start seeing the golden trees of the golden age, like that glimpses is so vivid on the screen of your mind. I think there is a power of that silence. Yeah, definitely. Balwinder, would you like to share? So who is eligible to attend Babdada's Milan in India? Does it happen in any other country? No, Baba's Milan happens. I mean, uh, uh, now it is the recording that is being played, but all those who are following Maryadas and for 6 months, they are eligible to go to Madhuban, and that's where it's not that Baba doesn't come anymore, but you feel the atmosphere. That is why you should definitely go to Madhuban, and it happens only in Madhuban.
Shanti,
Yeah, Sanjeev.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. What I feel by the word silence, as in many years in Baba's knowledge, that by the word silence, Baba wants us that our mind, body, and soul should be synchronized with the Supreme Soul. And the disturbance is caused by body consciousness. And as we drift from soul conscious to body consciousness, the turbulence starts. And what turbulence is that? Mind, body, and soul gets unsynchronized with the Supreme Soul. And Baba what wants us to be soul conscious, so that when we are soul conscious, mind, body, and soul will be synchronized with the Supreme Soul. Baba talks about silence, that means proper synchronization. Baba doesn't talks about the physical noise and all about. Baba talks about the complete synchronization. That mind, body, and soul should be synchronized with the Supreme Soul. And that is only possible when we become soul conscious, that the first letter of the silence talks about. And how we can become soul conscious? We are always in Bhaya Mukta. Baba talks about you should have the journey inwards. That's inward. Introspection, that the second letter I talks about. And when you really love Baba, and when you are lawful, following Srimad line by line, word by word, you become lawful. And that's the next letter L talks about. And again, E, that you become embodiment of knowledge. And N, Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirahankari. And C, very, very careful. Maya can attack you at any moment from in any direction. And last E, you excel from this world, that you become really silence. You're synchronized with mind, body, soul, and synchronized with Supreme Soul. That means you become Bhab-sama. That's what Baba talks about when he talks about silence. Om Shanti.
Shanti, thank you. Anyone else would like to share? Any comments, questions, any churnings? Maybe I want to share a little bit of my churning around this Muslim thing, right? If you actually see one of the things, if you look at this world statistics, right? World democratic statistics by the religion, one of the fastest growing religion or culture, whatever you may call, is Muslims. Muslim population is growing like left and right, right? It's not just in Europe, and everywhere else the population is declining. Japan population is declining, Europe Christian population is declining, everywhere Muslim population is increasing. So one thing, if you just look at the perspective of Baba, everyone has to return to home, to the soul world. So once we leave the body, it's not you end up taking the birth in the same land. Only culture who is producing more children is Muslims. But having said that, if you look at what is actually happening, is those who believe in more, I mean, I don't know, it may stir up some more thoughts, but those who are really strong in their own practice is Muslims. Even Christians are like, oh, maybe or may not be, but Muslims, they're very strong in their practice. So if we start resonating to that community more in their own language, like Allah is the Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirahankari, and Abhokta, Karta, and all these things, whatever words that they can resonate with, instead of saying world benefactor, say Rahman, and then that resonates with them. So more we appeal to that language, so more they can latch on to the basic foundation of soul world, and Supreme Soul. So I feel they are also preparing the ground for the rest of the souls to return to the soul world. So some churning around that.
Brother, could you just give us, when you're finishing, a nice thought on the last paragraph, Akhanda Yogi? What is, I love the journey of Akhanda. Why does it become Khandit? Why can't I really keep driving? When you drive, you just like to drive like that. Could you please, when you finish, give us some thoughts on this Akhanda Yogi?
Yeah, so mainly the visual that comes to my mind when Baba was talking about Akhand So it is like something which is, there are two things: something that has enough fuel, and the fuel is never cut off, right? So that is one thing. And then the second thing is the fuel is not coming from external source. Then the fuel is coming from within itself. For example, when you look at the sun, we may call it as Akhand Jyoti in a way. Fuel is not coming from outside and is always ignited. And what is the fuel that is keeping? It is coming from within the sun. All the fuel is within the sun, it is burning itself, and that process is continuously happening. So in that, on that lines, I feel like when the there is this idea of sense of self, like the awareness of who I am, right? The sense of myself, if that is based, that is a fuel, whatever that makes sense of who I am, that the fuel for that sense, when it comes from the spiritual stuff, and then when I use that, and then when I use that fuel throughout in every interaction, and that keeps me in that stage of akand. Yogi is like, it's a side effect, right? As long as I'm tuning to my sense of self, and the fuel to create that sense of self is coming from that eternal thing, not from the temporal thing. So as long as I tapping into that eternal self, not that temporal self, I can sustain myself in that stage for a long period of time. And definitely, there will be a lot of things throughout the day that is going to water down the fuel. I need to keep that little bit of what we call pilot light on so that it never goes off. So hope I made some sense here. Okay, let's a few minutes to slow down. There are so many things that can disturb or that can trigger. As you slow down and bring your sense of self into that deep silence, observe the observer. Be conscious of the consciousness itself. Focus on that eternal part within you. Go into that deep silence. Beyond the noises of the thoughts, noises of your emotions. Go into that eternal stillness. Very stable. Feel that sense of abundance in your eternal sense of self. Feel that sense of power, that might, being in that eternal sense of self. Make yourself very comfortable in your illuminated self. Spread that light, spread that awareness. Fill your mind space and heart space with your light, with your might. Let it extend into your body and extend out into the world. Let it touch every soul. Let your eternal sense of self bring you very close to Baba, very much, very close to home and Baba. Feel at home in your eternal sense of self. Feel at home with Baba. Gently bring Baba before you and in between you and rest of the world. Gently bring Baba. Shine through your heart, shine through your mind. Gracefully bring Baba. Shine through your presence. Bring Baba between you and rest of the world. Baba like a shield. You are very safe in the presence of Baba. And just observe Baba's light extending far and wide, like an Akhanda Jyoti. Rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of your stay on this earth, stay in this Akhanda Yogi stage. Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Arshabai, for the wonderful session. And thank you, Divine Family. So, like a Mahavir, make difficult things easy throughout the day. Or have a wonderful day. Tomorrow we'll meet at the same time. Until then, have a wonderful day. Awesome.